All right, so here if I enter 10, here I'll have to write the code, right? Let me write the code over here. So I'll say simple, num1 is equals to number input. That's it. If this num1 would be equal to the entered number, then it would say true, otherwise it will say false, right? Running it, let's say I'll enter 10, I'll say enter, hey, the number 1 is 10, entered number is also 10, then why is it saying false? Let's check out what is our entered number or number input. It is 10, yeah. The num1 is also 10, then what's the problem? Yeah, here is the problem, the quotation marks, which means this entry was string. So a string so number 10 in a string is actually not equal to number 10 in integer. So I'll have to basically typecast whatever I'm getting out of it. There are multiple ways to do it. I can also perform typecasting over here as well. Sorry, like this, and it will work perfectly fine. I will say 10. Yeah, it says true. But the better way is, since I want to use this number as an integer all the time. So here, where I'm taking the input, right? I'll convert it into integer right away. Now, what will happen? Do you remember? The execution starts from left to right. So let's execute it from left to right. So first of all, the compiler will say, okay, what it is going to be a variable, and then we have an assignment operator. Oh yeah, okay, I got it. So I want to, the programmer want to assign some value, which is there on right hand side, to this variable name. Fine, I got it. But what is that value? Then compiler will start reading from here. Compiler say, okay, integer. Okay, so the programmer wants to typecast something. Okay, fine, I'll typecast whatever programmer wants. Fine, let's read it, what programmer wants to typecast. Then the compiler will come inside this integer parenthesis and it will say, okay, fine, it is another function. Let's execute this function. So once this function will be executed like this, and user will enter 12, then 12, once I'll hit enter, 12 will be replaced over here. So basically, it will look like, let me write it over here. It will look like this, integer, and inside it 12. Okay. Now, if I run it, I'll say, let's say 13, run it, it gives me false. You might be wondering that what is this hash sign and why isn't it messing up with the code? So basically, this hash sign is called comments. So so basically, the compiler will start execution or compilation from this side, it will keep executing, and the moment it will read this hash sign, it will say, fine, it is not for me to compile. It will ignore whatever is written over there, right? So basically, comments are used to write notes for programmers. Again, here we are writing code for the learning purpose, but in industry, we are working with millions of lines of code. So not sometimes, but most of the times, whatever programmer writes, they will forget later on after days or weeks that what was the purpose of that particular statement, what was the purpose of that particular line of code. So usually programmers add the comments on almost every line or after every few lines to just remind themselves that what is happening over here. For example, for this line, I can write a comment that type casting the user input to integer, right? So this is how we can write the comments as well. And then it works as it is. The only thing to remember is just the compiler simply ignores whatever is there available as a comment. That's it, right? So I hope you enjoyed this whole module. Well, this module was, I agree, was a little bit boring as well, as I suggested earlier. But since we have to build up the basics, and now we are done with the basics. Now from next module, there is a lot of fun coming your way. We are going to build small applications, very small applications, and down the line, we are also going to build a few games as well. See you.